What did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television and fucking go into business for himself? For what? What did I do? Dave, what did I ever do?
You tell me.
Didn't do a goddamn thing. What's your name, sir?
Dominic D'Angelo.
Fuck the Pittsburgh Penguins. What are you doing? I'm
from Pittsburgh.
I made it really clear in Forbes, and I just want to make it clear again. Nick,
it's not his position to make it very fucking clear. There's people who call themselves EVPs that should have fucking known better. This shit was none of their business. I understand sticking up for your fucking friends. I fucking get it. I stuck up for that guy more than anybody. Okay? I paid his bills until I didn't, and it was my decision not to.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have no commented when Nick first said it. It's my fault, and if I hadn't, it's my fault. It's my fault.
I appreciate
I
that.
should have just taken it head on because you never said
anything. But I'm trying
anything.
to run a fucking business, and when somebody who hasn't done a damn thing in this business jeopardizes the first $1 million house that this company has ever drawn off of my back and goes on national television and does that, it's a disgrace to this industry, it's a disgrace to this company. Now, we're far beyond apologies. Right? I gave him a fucking chance. It did not get handled, and you saw what I had to do, which was very regrettable, lowering myself to his fucking level. But that's where we're at right now. And I will still walk up and down this hallway and say, if you have a fucking problem with me, take it up with me. Let's fucking go.
What up, y'all? This is your boy Ace here. Welcome to Afternoons Delight. So, this is some crazy stuff right now because I was posted about the media scrum that AEW usually has after their pay-per-views, and I heard that Punk lashed out at his former friend Cole Cabana, who he used by his real name, Scott Colton, I mean, and then he went at the Adam Hangman Page, and so I played a little part where he went at the Hangman Page. And I'm not going to really discuss the specifics that he went into about Cole Cabana. Y'all could just go and watch the media scrum. It's on AEW's channel or whatever. He talks about it there, whatever happened. It was some crazy stuff with lawsuits against each other. We know they used to be friends, but he said up until, I think, like late 2013, 2014, they haven't been friends. And apparently it's something real deep that happened between them that broke their friendship up. And, you know, like I said, I don't know specifically, you know, like what really made them go ahead, because I still didn't get it like a real specific reason on that story. I just know that they had like lawsuits on each other and stuff like that. And when it came to Adam Hangman Page, so he had a tirade against him. He said, what did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fucker like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television and fucking go into business for himself? For what? What did I do? Punk ass didn't do a goddamn thing. So, and obviously some people keep thinking like Punk has gone into business for himself or whatever like that when he came back. And so Punk was just like, hey, if you got something to say, you know, when I pass through the hallway, we can deal with it. So I think a lot of people, especially, I think people know Punk's personality and stuff like that and the way he went off and stuff like that. I think a lot of people are kind of blaming Punk mostly for everything, but I do think there's reasons for everything. Even the craziest of people have a reason for what they do. And we just haven't heard the other side of the story yet, especially when it comes to Adam Hangman Page. At least I haven't. I know I haven't. I haven't really heard him talk about the issue yet. And obviously there's some problems with the what they call them, the EVPs backstage or whatever, and stuff like that. And I guess Tony was the one that had to like step in or whatever, but Punk was kind of like backing up Tony too, saying you didn't even have, I mean, really wasn't your responsibility. It was their responsibility. And so it sounds like, to me, when it comes to Tony, I think clearly one of the things that I think Tony's the type of boss I feel like backs his wrestlers up and kind of like, you know, he, especially the wrestlers that he cares about. Now, I can't say all of them because I think, you know, obviously there's been some stuff out there, that he threw out there about Thunder Rosa. But I think he definitely was trying to protect Punk quite a bit. And, yeah, I mean, like, to me, I know a lot about the wrestling business. I've heard lots of stories and stuff like that. So nothing that I see even today surprises me when I see stuff. And a lot of this backstage drama crap that's going on right now is like overblown like a motherfucker. It's some of the locker room maybe a little bit fractured right now, maybe, you know, it happens over time. It's the wrestling business. Stuff does happen a lot in the wrestling business. And no matter who's in charge, you're going to have some problems with the wrestlers, especially with creative. Obviously, there was a little moment, I think, after that. It was a really good scrum, too. Really good scrum. Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee came out. They even had, like, a little point where they were kind of taken back to the point where they might have to face the Acclaimed again when they get to New York for the Grand Prix shows or you know, at Arthur Ashe Stadium in a couple of weeks. And they were talking about how it's possible that they might end up facing those guys again. And Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee, they were like, look, we're the mountaintop, man. We deserve to have our titles. Y'all still kind of disrespecting, you know. And I thought that was interesting because, you know, when you watch Tony Khan, he's like right in the middle of them and stuff like that. But Swerve Strickland didn't really agree to really face them, but this is what wrestlers go through all the time. Like, if they got a problem, they gonna take it up with the promoters and stuff like that, and it happens, man. Like, Tony Khan is used to this stuff, man. And at the end of the day, Swerve Strickland said, hey, you the boss. At the end of the day, he was like, hey, you the boss. So he knows, look, if he gotta face him again, he gonna do, that's what he paid to do. He paid to wrestle whoever they put in front of them. So they ain't gotta agree with it, but that's how it goes. But yeah, I mean, I know people are going to be talking about this, especially tomorrow, because it happened so late. So I think a lot of people are going to be coming out with their videos tomorrow on this and talking about it. So I just want y'all to know, if y'all watching this video, this stuff happens all the time. And don't believe all this backstage drama stuff that's happening as far as like it being the locker room is going to be, you know, leaving the company and all this other stuff. And it's not happening, bro. It's not happening. It's not happening. There is some little beast back there right now, but trust me, it's not happening. But, you know, but it is the wrestling business, man. It's not, the locker rooms are not, I've heard so many stories, the locker rooms are not this happens all the time. This happens all the time. And so I just want people to know that, because I think people are trying to paint AEW as this dysfunctional picture, and it's really not like that. You know what I'm saying? I think what I saw tonight, I saw like everybody rallying to make sure that was a good show tonight. And they did that, man. And just one last thing. Punk had brought up how the grass is not always greener on the other side. He's right about that. He is right about that, because Triple H is making it better. And I think he's making wrestlers feel back at home a little bit. But Triple H has got some people under him that he can't control. He doesn't have control of every single thing that goes on. But trust me, there's some people that they've got to deal with, even in the WWE, that you don't have all this creative control like you think you have. Like, so he was just sort of warning, at the time, he was just sort of warning MJF, hey, if you do decide to leave, like, the grass isn't always green on the other side. But, you know, so, because Toni Storm came in later, she said she loves the locker room. She's the leader now. She has the belt. So you're hearing conflicting stories too. And I've heard from another AEW wrestlers in the past week where they were like, hey, I like it back here. You know, so it's not everybody, bro. Not everybody's having a problem back there. And I think it's just certain people who are having their issues or whatever and stuff like that. But Obviously, the CM Punk and Adam Page thing, that's a real thing. Should Tony Khan do anything about it? Hey, it's up to those guys. Look, at the end of the day, these are grown men. They're going to have to take care of it in their own way. That means someday they're going to come head to head. They're going to come head to head. I think the best thing Tony could do at some point is put those two in a match together on TV. I think at some point, I think that's what they're just going to have to do. At some point, put them in a program together, make them work with each other, and they'll easily be sorting out their differences just working out with each other. Because look, if they got to have that fight, they got to have that fight. They're men. At the end of the day, I know how men are. We fight, we get over it. You know what I'm saying? I think at the end of the day, I think that's what's going to need to happen at some point, is that those two need to be in a room together. They need to fight it out, get their differences together, and go from there. You know, and really go from there. So we'll see what happens, man. I thought it was a very, very interesting media scrum. It's very, 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 very entertaining too. Like, y'all like this. Yeah, like Punk was so funny in this, man. It was absolutely entertaining. But it was good to actually see, because there were some things that answered my questions about what was going on in the AEW locker room. Because all we've been hearing was just like hearsay for the most part. And I got a chance to really see how the wrestlers interacted with Tony Khan too. And that was another thing. I wanted to see how they kind of interacted at this point with Tony Khan. And I felt like, because the last thing I'm going to bring up, I kept on feeling like, you know what, let me go ahead and do this so I can end the video. Go ahead and like this video, y'all. Like the video. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel, especially if you're new in the zoo. Any comments I got, definitely put them below. And if you want to donate to the channel, hit the super thanks button below. I much appreciate it, y'all. One thing that I got answered, because it felt like there was some, like it was a couple of weeks ago, it felt like there was some tension between Tony Khan and CM Punk. Because people were wondering if CM Punk was put in that 3-minute match against Mox as a punishment or whatever. And we learned later that it was for the ratings. It was a ratings pop thing. It was not something where he was trying to teach Punk a lesson. Because now I'm finding out that those two might have had some disagreements on certain creative things. And that's normal. That's nothing in the pro wrestling business if you're disagreeing about certain creative stuff. But what I noticed between Tony Khan and Punk was that they had a mutual respect for each other. And it seems like Tony really likes CM Punk. Like I'm flat out saying, like he said some good things about him when he talked about Thunder Rosa, saying that Thunder Rosa doesn't sell like him. And then with CM Punk, he's got the title on him. He wants CM Punk to be the guy to put MJF over, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think that these two have a good working relationship. I think that, yes, they're going to get into disagreements and stuff like that, but I didn't get the feeling like CM Punk was so mad at Tony Khan to the point where he just wanted to walk the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? I think if CM Punk was really mad at Tony Khan, and a day still may come, things may get worse between those two. You never know. I think CM Punk recognizes that he doesn't want to go back to the WWE because he don't want to work with Triple H. So the alternative is like CM Punk has to make it work with Tony Khan. And that's why I'm saying I think CM Punk will hold back enough to the point where he's going to tolerate certain things from Tony Khan. And to me, he knows that's his boss. And I think that at the end of the day, as hard as CM Punk might seem to work out with, I think CM Punk even respects Tony Khan enough, to make it work. You know what I'm saying? Because what I saw there, like, look, at the end of the day, you're my boss at the end of the day. And the thing that made me confirm that there was no real tension between those two was when Punk was actually defending Tony Khan when he said, no, that's the EVP's responsibility, not yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't think that Punk liked the fact that Tony Khan had to intervene in that situation when he was talking about the EVPs and stuff like that, and how it was their responsibility to make stuff work. And I think one of the real problems in AEW, Hangman has some friends backstage. and they're probably pitted up against Punk. And I think that's what's going on. I think there's a huge division between Punk and everybody else. But I think when it comes to the rest of the locker room, there might be some beefs and some people not want to work with each other. But I think for the most part, I think most of the locker room likes working with each other. But there's probably just a few apples in there that got some beefs, and I think that's it, man. And I don't really think it's too much, and it's going to continue. It's not going to get better, guys. Like, it's the wrestling business. There's going to be beefs. There's beefs in WWE right now, trust me, that you don't hear about because they're not trying to. Right now, the narrative is that Triple H is that guy, and everything with AEW is bad. That's the narrative that's playing out like here. You guys got to stop falling for that when you read these dirt sheets and all this other stuff. Trust me, that's the narrative. People want you. They want to put AEW in that TNA WCW bracket so bad, bro. They do. So just watch it what you hear. Thank you guys for watching After News Delight.